The challenge is 250 kilometres across the Moroccan Sahara Desert, and it's dubbed the toughest race on earth.
James Cracknell, double Olympic gold medalist, is about to face his greatest ever test of endurance. It's called the Marathon des Sables, 6 back-to-back marathons in one of the hottest places on earth. These grueling conditions have killed people. Not everyone will finish.
Your mind's telling your legs to work and your legs aren't working. It's just brutal.
James is putting his reputation and his body on the line. To succeed, he'll need the country's most expert human performance scientists.
Come on, push, push, push.
Failure is not an option. He will put his body and his mind through extremes.
And the support of his family.
If he's going to do something, he is utterly blinkered.
James will train like never before, test unique race diets, and undergo searing heat conditioning.
He's going to die in the desert.
And he'll face the extreme risks of pushing his body to new limits. James Cracknell is setting out to conquer the toughest race on earth. "25 years ago, the Marathon des Sables, or MDS, was born. Its aim is to test the limits of human endurance. Every year, 1,000 athletes from more than 30 nations run over 250 kilometres in one of the most inhospitable places on the planet. Over 6 days, they must carry all their food and everything they need to survive. In past years, many have collapsed from exhaustion. 2 have died. James Cracknell is taking on the MDS. He's an athlete who never knows when he's beaten. He's rowed the Atlantic, conquered the Antarctic, and won 2 Olympic gold medals. It was then that the MDS became, for James, the ultimate challenge.
Within probably 10 minutes of winning our gold medal, our coach said to me, "Real champions do it again. No, 1 is nothing." Which is obviously slightly takes the wind out of your sails 10 minutes after you won your first Olympic gold medal, but I know what he means. And that's kind of what the MDS is like. You've got to perform overall 6 days, and that's where it's tough. That's the challenge that I'm after. It's challenge by the day, and also the next day and the next day.
James has set himself an extraordinary goal in what for him are totally alien conditions. In a field of 1,000 athletes, he wants to finish in the elite top 50.
When the going gets tough in the middle of the day, that's where I want to believe my rightful place is. And I think if you can get to a situation where you believe your rightful place is somewhere, you've got far more chance of achieving it.
Kinetic in Hampshire is a world-famous human performance lab. Here James will plan what he calls his desert mission.
That's good, yeah, I think.
He's recruited an expert team of scientists to counter the Saharan threats.
But we need to keep you below sort of 39.3.
Thermal physiologist Neil Williams will prepare James's body to overcome dehydration. Nutritionist John Scott will produce the lightest possible diet. And in charge is Simon Wicks. His worry is that James's single-mindedness could also be his Achilles heel.
James can be a danger to himself. His drive and determination means that he will push himself to the absolute limit.
Their mission is to get a man 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighing 95 kilos across 250 kilometres of some of the world's toughest terrain. They have 45 days to do it. Mohamed Ansel is one of the world's greatest desert runners. He's won the Marathon des Sables 3 times and has agreed to help James prepare.
Hi, Mo. I'm
Hi.
James.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Good to meet you. Welcome to England.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Do you like our weather? Nice and cold?
Very nice, yes.
Mohammed's built for desert racing. He's the polar opposite of James. 5 foot nothing and just over 60 kilos. He's lived and breathed the Sahara his entire life.
Mohammed, do you think James can win Marathon des Sables?
It's possible, yes.
Yeah, I can see by your smile.
A 20-minute fitness test will compare the two athletes. The team will then use it to devise the perfect race plan for James.
The major comparisons between James and Mohammed are in physical stature. Mohammed's a much smaller guy, he would produce less heat, requires less food, would require less water. He also has a particularly efficient running style, all things that really James doesn't have.
Okay, here we go, then give me a whole minute, James, all the way home. Come on, all the way up. Push on. Great stuff, great stuff. Perfect, James, well done.
The two athletes' aerobic fitness levels are exactly the same, but that's in the cold. These solar lamps will recreate conditions in the Sahara. The two men will now be compared in temperatures up to 50 degrees. There's only one way to get an accurate reading of the body's critical internal core temperature.
That needs to be inserted into your rectum to measure the core temperature.
I feel so sorry for Mohammed, he's round there. Getting translated, but he's got to do it. I can see his face just dropping slightly. All in the name of science, though. Sorry, Mohammed. It's not good.
Summer, Sahara.
It's really hot, and I can just feel it beating onto the top of my head. Pulse rate's gone up 10 just standing here.
James and Mohammed go head-to-head in the heat. The test will be aborted if their core temperature hits 39 degrees, 1 degree short of heat stroke.
The conditions in there now, under the solar load, it'll be 40 degrees. We've got 10% humidity, and we've also got minimal airflow just to make it a worst case condition.
Heat stroke is a killer. To keep his extra bulk moving, James's muscles have to work harder than Mohammed's. That means his body generates more heat and sweats more to cool down.
I really feel tight, sort of dry chest, and it's just hard to maintain the pace. I keep looking across at Desert Boy over there. Just hadn't even noticed it. I mean, his core temperature may well be rising, but it hasn't shown any outward signs, whereas I don't know what my core temperature's doing, but the signs that I know and understand are not looking good.
His core temperature is rising quite rapidly. If it goes over sort of 39.5 and heads on to 40 degrees C and above 40 degrees C, we're in trouble, and James could sort of suffer from severe heat illness.
I'm looking at speed and heart rate now, and this is totally wrong, and so I've got no real understanding of what's going to happen next, apart from I don't think it's going to be a very good thing.
After half an hour, James's core temperature is hitting dangerous levels.
Okay, if we can withdraw James now then please, just slow down the treadmill.
We're going to slow you down and pull you out now.
Still trotting away, no discomfort. I don't know what his core temperature's doing, but he's trotting away quite easily.
It's hot, but it's okay.
Probably the first time in life I haven't argued being pulled out of a race. Oh.
In the desert, water is rationed to a maximum of 12 litres per day. At this rate, James will dehydrate on day one and won't recover.
Just over half an hour's worth of sweat there. It's half an hour.
James has lost 3.5 kilos of sweat in just over 30 minutes as his body struggles to cool down. Mohammed has lost just half a kilo.
Alarm bells are ringing massively. It's a massive cultural shift. I think that's mental as well as physical, and today's highlighted that. I've got a lot to do physically, but I probably have equally as much to do mentally.
The data will help build a plan to keep James alive in the desert. It's 6 weeks to the race. The test has been a huge wake-up call if he really is going to achieve his elite top 50 performance.
This James, a souvenir.
Souvenir. It's not often you get to hang out with an MDS winner.
Another MDS in Morocco.
Yeah, in Morocco, exactly. You may have to wait at the finish for me, though.
James Cracknell is preparing his body and mind to take on the toughest race on earth, the Marathon des Sables. In less than 6 weeks, he'll run 250 kilometres across the world's hottest desert. James has spent the day in the heat chamber with the lightweight African runner, Mohamed Ansel.
He's tiny.
Yeah.
You are actually twice as big. You are not built for running.
No.
James and Beverly Turner have been married for 10 years.
So I lost 3.5 kilos in 45 minutes through sweat, and he lost half a kilo.
That is not possible.
No, that's what
3.5 kilos.
Yeah, 3.5 litres of water. It was quite
In
hot.
how long?
45 minutes.
You're going to die in the desert. It's going to be horrible.
Over the years, Beverly has grown to understand James's extraordinary self-belief.
He is the most focused person that it is, I think, possible to imagine. If he's going to do something and he decides he's going to do it, he is utterly blinkered. And that can be anything from a trip like the MDS, or it can be going away for a fun family weekend and learning to ski.
There's Beverly.
You seem to be quite a lot taller than most people on this run. Smile, Croydie, you're on camera.
And then he will spend all of his time in that zone of being as good as he can possibly be, so that by day 2, he's going off the top of the Black Run ahead of everybody else.
I shouldn't really be up here. This is apparently for good skiers only, and I've done one day.
Black runs are a picnic compared with the Marathon des Sables. James is a third heavier than most elite runners, so he needs the lightest possible pack for the Moroccan terrain. The scientists have come up with a unique lightweight diet.
Hello, hello, hello.
Are you?
Very good.
Excellent.
Good to see you. Boy, come in.
Thought we'd come and talk about nutrition for the rest.
They're giving him 2,200 calories a day, but it's made up only of powder, with no real food at all. James will test the diet for a week.
So what it contains for a single day is 450 grams of the sports drink powder, 150 grams of the protein powder, and 1 multivitamin tablet, which means you're carrying only 600 grams of food a day.
That is half of what Mohammed carried.
Yeah.
And he's tiny. But then what snacks would I eat during the day? I'd just live on that in the day.
Yeah, so it's a very, very, in terms of satisfaction for food,
Brutal.
it will be challenging.
It's going to be an interesting few days. Can't say I'm particularly looking forward to it, but part of this whole process was seeing what the parameters of the body are and being able to perform with the minimum amount of weight. Physically, obviously, it's going to be hard, but I think mentally, to live on nothing but powder is just not going to be very nice.
James will test this extreme diet in a series of endurance events in the run-up to the MDS. In 5 days' time, he'll try to qualify for the British duathlon team. It's an exhausting test of cycling and running.
It's the longest I've ever been without chewing on anything and without eating a meal. It's not been fun, and I haven't got a lot of energy. But it might be psychological.
3 days without chewing is affecting James's mind.
So it says, do I feel worn out? I put quite a bit. Do I feel unhappy? Yes, moderately, because I can't eat any food. Anxious? I'm a little bit anxious, I'm a little bit hungry.
What are you anxious about?
And I'm anxious about my duathlon qualifier at the weekend.
Yeah, me too.
And not having enough energy. But the
I
guys
agree.
say that I should have. I don't feel full of pep, which is another one.
To be abstaining from something this much it's really hard for him, actually. He's not much fun to have around at the moment. Having seen the amount of weight he's lost in a matter of days, I would be really, really anxious if he went to the desert on this diet. I think he could do himself some serious harm.
It's the eve of James's duathlon trial. He's gone 5 days without real food, and his energy levels are at a 6-month low.
That's my worst performance on that session, considering I'm the fittest I've been for 6 months and I've tapered a bit for the race at the weekend, so I should be fresher and fitter. And then I was weaker and more unfit.
It's the first real test of the lightweight diet. The prize is a place on the British duathlon team.
I could have done with actually eating something this morning. Everyone else will be carbo loaded, so big meals last night, big meal this morning. But yeah, everyone will be doing pretty much the opposite to me. Great.
It's now when it shows, guys. Come on!
James needs a top 6 finish to make the British team. But on this diet, his body is struggling. In the final 5-kilometre run, James looks shattered. He just scrapes home in 6th place.
The last run was pretty slow. I mean, maybe that's why I ran out of energy. Lack of fuel in the body.
The powder diet hasn't provided the energy he needs to compete. But of more immediate concern is a nagging pain in James's hip, which could wreck his MDS dream.
Pain you at all?
Feels like it's triggering a pressure point. The pressure shoots up into the nerve and just pinches. And if you add that pain up stride after stride for days on end, it's going to be a big problem.
Hand up.
Tom Dawson, a specialist sports doctor, is worried that James may have fractured a bone. The only way to find out is an MRI scan.
I've got a human being in front of me. I need to make sure he's safe. So that's what we're doing today.
I can't change the results, so I'm not nervous, I'm just worried about what the implications are going to be.
Okay in there, James? Okay, here we go.
From the MRI images, Tom can assess the chance of long-term damage.
Every time he runs another 40 miles, I think that's another 40 miles you've put on the clock on your joints. And he's putting on miles and miles and miles. And I do worry that he's going to be limping around in his 50s.
Hey, Tom.
Hi, James.
Shall I take a seat?
Yeah, have a seat. We've had a look at your scans already. I don't want to hold you in the lurch for too long. We can be fairly confident that there is no bone stress. So that's some good news, which is nice to tell you.
But the scan has revealed a burst cyst on James's hip. To make the MDS start line, he'll need a powerful cortisone injection.
Take a big breath in for me now. Sorry about that.
The injury is a setback. To make sure the hip recovers properly, Tom imposes a complete running ban until James gets to the desert.
Although it's positive about me doing the race, I'm not going to be able to run until the Marathon des Sables, which, having not already run for a couple of weeks, and the couple of weeks before that, having only run once, I'm looking at doing the MDS on 1 run in 6 weeks, which is just rubbish.
James's morale is at rock bottom. He hopes Rory Coleman, an MDS veteran, will cheer him up.
Good to see you.
Good to meet you too.
Rory's completed the Marathon des Sables more times than any other Briton. He's seen many first-timers fail.
You're one of the most famous athletes we've got in the UK. Yeah? That's
There's
take
a
it.
but coming.
No, well...
Come on. Come on.
But
yeah.
all I'm telling you is what happens when the wheels come off. We know you can run 26 miles. We know you can do it in 250 in the UK on a nice spring day running around London, yeah, having a good time and doing 250 whatever. Great. Out there, it's a different ball game. And the next day...
It's hardly the boost James wants.
You get up,
Rory tries to manage his expectations.
that's it. If you're top 50, you've had an unbelievably good performance. Top 50 is absolutely superb in this race. One guy who was 13th 3 years ago, he was virtually running back-to-back marathons every weekend for 12 months. Yeah? Now, he finished 13th.
Wow.
And his level of performance is just miles ahead of anyone else's.
Yeah.
He was doing 30 milers, 40 milers, 50 milers. I mean, how many hours training have you actually really put into this?
It's clear to James that he's not doing enough. With only 8 days until the desert, he decides to disobey the doctor's orders to lay off running.
And a combat jacket.
He's going to take on the Royal Marines' infamous endurance course. It'll be make or break for his injury.
It's a big test for the hip. You question whether should or shouldn't be doing it.
3, 2, 1, go!
But if I can't run on it now, I'm not going to be able to run on it for the MDS. And so it's a good tester, and it's something I've always wanted to do.
Let's keep pushing. Come on, drag yourself out of there.
Officers have 70 minutes to complete the 10-kilometre course.
Looking good. He's doing all right.
James is carrying the same weight as he will in the desert. If his hip holds up, he reckons he'll be race ready.
It's not meant to be nice, and it's not meant to be easy, and none of the tunnels are meant to be comfortable. It's meant to test you and find the ones that they want to join up and the ones that they'd rather kick out.
James finishes 14 minutes within the cut-off time. His hip has passed.
Was it a good idea? Well, I didn't tell the doctor, put it that way, so probably not, but it's nice to have a confidence booster of getting through it relatively pain-free.
In 4 days' time, James leaves for the desert. The toughest race on Earth is about to begin. In just 4 days, James Cracknell is due at the start line of the Marathon des Sables, a 250-kilometre run through the Sahara Desert. His team has set aside a series of 90-minute acclimatization sessions to prepare James's body for 50-degree desert heat.
His core temp is at 37.0. Let me know if James feels any discomfort, obviously, in the hip, and we'll just reduce the speed down again a bit.
Even at walking pace, James is losing more sweat than he'll be able to replace in the Sahara. The plan is to minimise overheating and dehydration by keeping his heart rate below 140 beats a minute.
We've done the best we can do to help him, kind of now completely riding on him to do the business, basically.
At the moment, a bar.
James nearly collapsed in one of his trials because of lack of food. They decide to raise the desert diet to 2,500 calories each day.
The ultimate question with something like this is how much is enough and how much is too much. If you add that...
It's tricky because I am taking on the toughest race on Earth. I'm not trying to get through the toughest race on Earth, and that's the difference.
The diet is mostly powder. To boost James's spirits, the scientists have allowed some real food, but it'll only make up 15% of his diet.
This is the biggest amount of weight, really. This is 1 day's food here, day one. And then these are isotonic and electrolyte drinks. There's a few little chews to go on the way.
He's packing painkillers by the dozen, in case the hip flares up.
Ibuprofen, painkillers, some Thyrolyte.
Blisters can wreck a racer's chance. All runners wear special gaiters to keep sand out of their running shoes.
2 sets of gaiters. That is magic. It's going to be brilliant in the sand.
James is now as ready as he's ever going to be. His daughter Kiki is 1 today, a chance to say goodbye to family and friends. "300 British runners are on their way to North Africa. In total, 1,000 athletes are about to take on a self-sufficient race across some of the harshest terrain known to man. It's the 25th Marathon of the Sands.
I guess a lunar landscape in your mind is as barren, if not more barren, than the spaghetti westerns, and you just think how little water people survive on out here, and also just the dryness of the whole area, from the dried out riverbeds to the sand dunes we could see to the really rocky mountains, then the realisation that we're going over all of them.
This vast campsite will move in its entirety each day, marking the finishing line of each gruelling stage. There's no hint of the Olympic luxury of James's past.
Right, is this our home then?
Oh yeah, that's the fridge.
That's great, isn't it? Where's the jacuzzi?
Where's the sides?
In the Berber camp, each tent will become home to 8 runners. James's tent mates will become his closest companions.
Steve, how you doing? Rob. I'm glad I bought a mat, that's all I know.
Oh, Jesus. That's not a comfy bed. It's stone. It's like sleeping on Brighton Beach on a really, really hot day.
As long as it doesn't snore, I think that's the first thing that you learn about anyone when you're sharing a tent, isn't it? Snorers get kicked out pretty quickly.
I generally find that a lot of powdered food gives me bad wind, so that's coming. But there is natural drafting, so that may, as long as it's in the right direction downwind, everyone should be okay. I'll tell you what, the best thing about being in an event like this is like-minded people. You know, there are a lot of like-minded people here, and that makes it a very fun place to be around. And people have different backgrounds. There's a lot of military guys here, and a surprising number who've literally, I think 3 or 4 have come back from Bastion in the last week and entered. So there's a big military presence, which is great. There's a lot of people raising money. You know, I'm raising money for the British Legion. Lots of people obviously doing it for Help for Heroes, for SAFA. So it's great.
The race favourite is Mohammed Ansel, the MDS legend who helped James with his training in England.
I'm quite interested to see what kit he's got in his bag, considering our tent, a mass explosion of kit, and how much everyone's got. I think he's just got some little bum bag that he runs in and scoots along at about 15 kilometres an hour. So I'm going to go and tell him he's clearly cheating, and he wants to use my bag, and then we'll see who's the quickest. That's Mohammed's food. It's about a day and a half of mine.
Similar stuff?
No, that is meat.
Meat.
Camel?
No, camel. Camel is double energy.
Double energy.
Neil Williams has accompanied James to the desert. He'll collect data and monitor James throughout the race.
This is the monitoring unit that you're going to wear, OK?
Under race rules, James can only see a readout of his heart rate. Neil has set him a target of between 120 and 140 beats per minute.
You've seen the film Iron Man?
Yeah.
So here's one of these things.
This is going to be your new heart to get you through the race.
Perfect.
Neil will monitor James's core body temperature remotely. The race plan's designed to keep it below 39 degrees Celsius, so he doesn't lose too much water. He'll become dehydrated if he sweats 2 litres more than he drinks.
Feeling bionic? Am I looking bionic? That's the more important thing.
It's the eve of the race and time for the final medical and kit checks.
One for the back, one for the front.
Yes.
Keep it safe. Will do. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I've had real worries over the last 24 hours about being arrogant about saying top 50, because it's not until you come out here and see the standard of people that you realise that isn't going to be at all easy. So it's going to be a tough ask, but I have had a great preparation. I've had a great acclimatisation. I've got a great tent, a mixture of Colin, who's had desert experience in Afghanistan, Guy, who's done the race before, some other lads who are just getting really stuck into it.
James is one of the country's most competitive athletes. He's a target for other runners. Elliot Chalifour is a British Ironman and triathlon champion with the same goal as James. He wants to finish in the top 50 and be the leading Briton.
You're not double Olympic champion for being soft, are you? But having said that, I think it's within my reach, more than within my reach, so I'm going to push for it.
Rory Coleman has run the MDS 6 times. Back home, he had a bleak prediction for James's top 50 goal.
If you're top 50, you've had a unbelievably good performance. Top 50 is absolutely superb in this race.
I definitely like people doubting whether I can do it. I've never had quite as much doubting over a goal before, you know, from people who've done the race. Yeah, I'm going for top 50. Nah. Not even, yeah, I can see he's had a background of training. None of that. It's like, no, you're not. No, thanks.
For James Cracknell and 1,000 other athletes, the waiting is over. Their desert mission is about to begin. The athletes will tackle a 250-kilometre course over the next 7 days. It's the longest in race history. They're on their own and must overcome some of the harshest terrain on the planet. The first stage is just under 30 kilometres. It's relatively flat, designed to give the runners their first taste of sand dunes and a terrain which will only get worse.
I just see rock and hills in the distance and lots of very skinny small people around me, which is slightly worrying. I'll be in the top 50 as we cross the line, and then after that, who knows.
From the outset, the athletes fan out in the largest hot desert in the world.
These rocks are a bit sharp. I'm not sure I'm happy about this.
It's beautiful, it's what we've been waiting for, isn't it? Nice, bit overcast. What better way of spending the day out in the desert, eh?
It's going to be really tough, and it's going to be as hard as I want to make it, and I've kind of promised myself and the guys that have prepared me that that's what it's going to be.
James is pumped up, perhaps more than he should be. He's at the front of the pack. A kilometre in, he's even in front of Mohammed.
I hope he was giving me a tick on my bum when he comes past. Going, what are you doing?
Checkpoint 1 comes after 10 kilometres. It's the runner's first chance to rehydrate. Mohammed's overtaken James. He's now leading the race. Just 6 minutes behind, James has lost the equivalent of 3 bottles of water in sweat. His reward is 1 new bottle. For James, it's a meagre but much-needed boost of energy as he adds water to his powder.
You're actually enjoying this, aren't you?
It's day 1, and I'm going really well. It's day 1, though. But no, it's good. These dunes are hard. It sucks all the energy out your feet, and heart rate shoots up, speed drops down, motivation goes with it. But I tell you, I'm really good. I've got my heart rate, so I'm really concentrating on not letting it get too high, keeping that core temperature down. I feel I overtook some Moroccan dude in the hills there. I went, ça va? He went, no.
It's an impressive desert debut, even for a double gold Olympian. James is the leading Briton. But he's not the elite Brit. 20 kilometres in, fellow countryman Elliot Chalifer is just behind.
Hopefully when we get in the top 50 today, that'll be decent.
And overall, what are you aiming for?
Oh, I don't know, we'll see how it plays out on the big day. Top 20 would be nice, but we'll wait and see who dies and who lives.
The sight of Elliot spurs James on. He powers across the dunes.
Allez, James! Woo!
Even for a sporting legend like James Cracknell, this is remarkable.
Ooh, may have gone a bit hard then.
Great job, James.
Day 1. Woo.
9th position.
9th. Yeah, baby, can I go home now? It's satisfying. I've got the speed. I just got to get the pacing right and have confidence that I can maintain my position in the top 50, because as much as I'd like to pretend today mattered, it doesn't. Yeah. People will be looking at the finish list going, what an idiot. And they may well be right, but right now, I feel pretty much king of the world.
My fear with this race is that he's going to do a marathon that hard on day 1 and then he's going to have to get up the next day and do it again, and then get up the next day and do it again. I just think the challenge for him will actually not be pushing himself too fast and too hard too early on in the event.
Elliot Chalifer crosses the line in 23rd, less than 15 minutes behind James.
Just trying to get into my pace and just tap it out nice and steady, and it's only going to get harder, it's only going to get tougher. No doubt people will break and walk, so I'll just keep tapping it out till they do, and hopefully see a few more.
Rory Coleman was sceptical about James's goal of a top 50 finish.
James in. Came in 9th, surprised?
It's awesome. I said some terrible things, James, as well. Watch out, because it's going to get you.
Rory Coleman completes stage 1 almost 2 hours after James. His position, 276th. James has surprised everyone with a top 10 finish.
Okay, thank you, James.
But with limited water and food, he's lost almost 3 kilograms.
The major concern is the amount that he's sweating at the moment. It's a real concern. We worked out today that he sweated about 4 litres an hour.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank
Don't
you.
drink it all at once.
And the real issue is going to be how he's going to replace this huge water deficit that he's getting. He's going to become dehydrated. There's no doubt about that. We just don't obviously want to see him on the end of a trip in a few days' time.
Hydration is James's biggest challenge. He's spurred on by admirers following his progress on the internet.
It's very nice to have messages from people like that. I'm well chuffed. I actually thought it was going to be a message from Beverly saying, "You started off too hard, what are you thinking about? You're going to blow up and die." But it wasn't. It was from someone else saying my book was amazingly well written.
I thought Fogel was a pretty good writer, actually. So Bev's probably still on holiday and forgotten about you.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Bev's just in some glycemic coma through Easter eggs. Whereas I'm about to crawl around the carpet here looking for bits of food that I've dropped. And it's day 1.
Stage 2 of the Marathon des Sables is 35 kilometres and takes in its biggest climb. The Jebel El Otfel is 1,000 metres high and a heartbreaker. After just one stage, the race has already claimed 3 dropouts. There's no way all 1,000 competitors will make it to the summit. James starts the day in 9th position overall. One Briton has him in his sights.
Tactics for today, go out hard and challenge, I think, the first sprint. Yeah, like I said yesterday, as the days roll on, people get tired, and we'll see how it fares. I'm going to push for it.
James has a real problem. He's starting this stage already dehydrated.
It's physically impossible for me to rehydrate to the level I was at yesterday, drinking all the water I've been given today.
Elliot shadows James's every move.
I think he came here with the pretension of wanting to be the fastest Brit, and he's probably a bit annoyed that not only was he not fastest Brit, that some muppet of a rower was fastest Brit. Said hello, he didn't say hello back, and I thought I'm going to up my pace and see if he stays with me. It probably makes me run fast if someone's unfriendly. I think, well, that's great, all right, I'm going to stamp on your neck. And every time I'm tired, I'm going to think, at least I'm going to put more mileage into you every step of the way.
Mohammed's leading the field. 10 minutes behind, James is running faster than his planned race pace of 12 kilometres per hour. He's too fast for Elliot. Back in the middle of the pack, James's tent mates have settled into their pace.
I expected it to be hard. I mean, they didn't call it the toughest foot race on earth for nothing. So whatever it throws at me, I'm sort of expecting it to hit me harder.
All dreams of gliding serenely past Cracknell and Mohammed have disappeared with this morning's rush.
After 28 kilometres, there's another water stop. But one bottle isn't enough to rehydrate James.
Oh, I'm just thirsty all the time. Look. All thirsty. Went off to now I've got that hill to go. Come on!
The Jebel El Otfel is a towering obstacle between James and the finish line.
I'm having to really work hard to keep my heart rate where it should be.
Even Mohammed, 20 minutes in front, has slowed down to a crawl. At the foot of the mountain, James is only just holding his position. He refuses to give in. James pushes his body to its limit and beyond. While training, James was pulled out of the heat chamber when his core topped 39 degrees. Just below the peak of the mountain, James's heart rate has shot up. His core is almost 40 degrees, well inside the danger zone. He's now borderline heat stroke, but ignores the warning signs and carries on.
He looked fairly strong. He sort of stormed up the last bit of the hill, but whether that's a case of mind over body, I think it probably is with James, and he's headstrong, but I'm not sure whether his body's able to cope with how strong his head is at the moment, because he's putting his body through a hell of a race at the moment with the pace he's getting.
Even in this state, James maintains 95% of his target race pace over the last 7 kilometres to the finish line.
It's the hardest 7K I've ever done. Got a brutal climb that I said I didn't want to walk anywhere when I came here. Couldn't even pigeon step my way. And a horrible descent that just cramps you up. And then straight into the sand dunes. It's like that Marines obstacle course times about 50. I'm gonna have to start being a little bit more sensible, because I won't survive tomorrow if I run like that.
Pushing this hard brings a 7th place stage finish, the highest ever by a Briton.
7th's amazing, but right now this is as nice a feeling as I've had since winning the Olympics, probably.
He's achieved 6th place overall, but not everyone's buzzing like James Cracknell. 20 runners have dropped out today, and the medical tent is filling up fast.
That hill at the end, I was fine until checkpoint 3, and that hill killed me.
An intravenous drip saves lives when you're running in 45-degree heat. But out here, it means a 2-hour penalty.
I want to do it, but I don't want to die doing it. Going across the desert, I had really bad pains in my chest. Throwing up. Couldn't keep any water down. There's no way I could have climbed a mountain up a sand dune, so finish, I'm afraid.
Elliot hasn't given away a second. He finishes 15 minutes behind James, exactly the same as stage 1.
I will keep pushing my thing, and if his wheels fall off, maybe it will happen, but we'll just have to bide my time and see.
After 2 stages, James's feet are badly blistered. He's far exceeding his top 50 goal, but this is a man who wants to push his body beyond natural limits. James has set his sights on a new target.
I found out the highest Brit ever is 13th. The results haven't come out yet, but I will be there or thereabouts, so that's something to go for.
To claim 12th position and set a new British record, he must maintain his punishing pace. According to his own data, he's putting his body at serious risk.
We got core temperatures sort of peaking at about 39.6, and for about an hour he was fluctuating at around 39 degrees up and down. With core temperatures sort of above 40 degrees, you can get serious illnesses and eventually leading sort of coma and death.
James is focused on a new target of 12th place. He's the only person still awake in camp. These feet have another 185 kilometres to go. Stage 3 is a marathon in distance, but the terrain's much more forgiving than the previous 2 stages. There's no such thing as an easy stage in the toughest race on Earth, and the rocky ground is aggravating James's injured hip.
Hip's a bit sore, but just going to give it a go for half an hour and
If it's hurting increasingly, I'll back off a bit.
This is a man who doesn't give in, but he's complaining of low energy. Only 15% of his diet is real food. The rest is powder, added to his rations of water.
How's your hip? Yeah, it's pretty sore.
Okay.
Oh.
Hi.
Big boys have come out to play today. Oh, come on. I'm tired.
For the first time, James is dropping hard-fought places. He finishes stage 3 in 17th position. It's his worst stage result so far.
Oh, merci beaucoup. Oh, merci. Oh.
He's slipped 3 places overall to 9th. To achieve his goal of best ever Brit, he'll need to push his body even harder.
If you could just go back out there, there's little bits of me scattered amongst the dunes. I had to walk for a bit, just because I felt so dizzy. And the only good thing is I learnt today, rather than halfway through tomorrow, so it's just got to take it so steady tomorrow, otherwise I'll die. Not enough water, I just have to slow down. I can't run at this pace on this little water.
James's body is starting to crack. Hundreds of kilometres away, his family are worried. Beverly knows he'll go to any extreme.
So Daddy's in the sand, and we are in the sand. We are, but we're going to go in the sea now, which Daddy does not have the pleasure of that, does he? We just hope he's okay because he has not that many water bottles, and I'm sure he's hungry and he's tired and he's thirsty, but I know that he'll be doing the best job he can.
For 7-year-old Croyd, Daddy's in a dangerous place.
Are you worried about him?
Yeah.
What are you worried about?
He might not have any water, so he might die.
No, sweetheart, that won't happen, I promise you.
I'm a bit down today after that. It really mentally got to me.
You get such a tiny amount of water. Your bed is a bed of stones. Minimum amount of food. It's not a race. It should be called the Marathon de Survival, not de Sable. It's just rubbish.
James isn't getting the energy he needs. He isn't getting the water he needs. The threat of heat stroke is now becoming real.
They'll sort of feel drowsy and nauseous and confused. It might lead to problems with his navigation as well, and then it could be, you know, a sort of a cycle into worse and worse conditions. If he was to get lost, then he's going to miss checkpoints and not pick up water and become dehydrated. So he just needs to be really careful and listen to his body over the next few days.
Tomorrow, James must run more than twice the distance of today. It'll be the biggest physical challenge of his life.
Never have I gone from feeling pretty good to feeling like I can't carry on. It's now 8 o'clock at night, so I've been back in 8 hours. I still feel shit. Much worse than our Berbers over there, who were having a big sing-along by the campfire.
For James Cracknell, the toughest race on Earth is proving a mental as well as a physical battle. After a night's sleep, James opens his freeze-dried food supplies for a much-needed boost.
Day 5 dinner, Mummy's brown food.
That's spaghetti bolognese.
He needs all his strength to take on the longest race of his career. Stage 4 is more than 80 soul-destroying kilometres. 52 athletes have already quit the race. With 30 kilometres of dunes to wade through, more will fall out today. So far, those still racing have covered more than 100 kilometres of the Sahara Desert. Some will still be running today's long stage 24 hours from now. James and the rest of the elite athletes will start in 3 hours' time, right in the heat of the day.
Pretty much the furthest I've ever run after 3 of the longest days running I've ever had in the hottest heat I've ever had.
Thank you, another.
With the sorest feet.
Sauvage, départ sauvage in the desert. Hein?
These are the top 50 runners. Mohamed Ansel is still in the lead, and Briton Elliot Chalafor still has James in his sights.
If you blow up and you really slow up, you can lose a lot of time, so just do my own thing, take it steady, try and pace myself, and hopefully I'll come through strong.
It's a punishing 47 degrees, and 25 kilometres in, James is overtaking the early starters. But he barely notices his tent mates shouting their support.
It just keeps us sort of motivated, because if he can do it like that, then surely we can all just stroll through it, whinging and moaning with blisters and carrying bagpacks. You know? He's running. Ridiculous.
Does he know his limits? I'm not sure. He's a nutter.
I'm much further ahead in the field than I was thinking I would be. So it could go absolutely pear-shaped, but we're sticking to the plan. We'll see what happens.
This is James's slowest pace of the entire race. He's failed to rehydrate, and his core temperature is again in the danger zone. After 50 kilometres, the Olympian has slowed to a walking pace. He's left stumbling through the desert.
We set out to push hard and give everything. That's what's happening. I've pushed this hard for this long. I'm not going to back off now.
When James used to row, his coach, Jürgen Grobler, was part of the old German system. He said he had never seen any athlete who could push themselves into the black like James, is the way he described it. He could push himself to almost a state of unconsciousness. James will be in the desert, hindered by no one, and he will have to make sure that if he pushes himself into that darkness, he can get out again.
The light fades. The camera crew's lost sight of James. Between now and the finish line, he's going alone into the dark. Three and a half hours later, the team are waiting for James at the finish line. He should have arrived back in camp more than an hour ago.
He's never run that distance in his life, let alone in these conditions. When we saw him earlier, he looked in a bad way. He's trying to run the furthest he's ever run before, whilst he's dehydrated, energy deficient, in temperatures reaching up to 50 degrees C. And when we saw him 4 or 5 hours ago now, he looked in a really bad way, really tired, really struggling. But James is relentless in his quest to push his body to the limit. And it's just a real concern that he's not at the finish line yet. I just hope he's not out there somewhere completely dehydrated and really struggling.
Out of the darkness, James finally comes into view.
That was everything I had. Oh, my whole face is tingling. That's very good. Do you need a doctor?
He's confused and unable to walk. It's down to the crew to get help.
Yeah, he can, because his whole body's going to cramp in a minute.
He's dehydrated, he's hyperventilating, and without warning, his whole body starts to seize up.
Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Open.
His blood sugars are dangerously low.
Just relax, James.
He's on the verge of losing consciousness. James can see the threat of an intravenous drip being prepared above his bed. Under race rules, if the medics hook him up, it'll mean a 2-hour penalty.
No drip if penalty.
Pardon?
No drip if penalty.
Said no drip if there's a penalty. Now you're going to rest for 15 minutes, and if you're okay, we start drinking.
James needs to replace water lost in sweat. If he can't hold down liquids himself, the medics will intervene.
Even if you have been drinking a lot, you're losing lots of water. You've done a course about 11 hours or 12. So you have to drink a lot still tonight.
Okay? You only get 4.5 litres then.
Yeah. Yeah, but you've been drinking everything. Yeah. But that's part of the game. If drinking doesn't pass, we'll infusion. Point. Okay?
He crossed the line in 17th. Overall, he slipped another 3 places to 12th. An infusion and a penalty would mean the end of James's dream of the best ever British result. His race would effectively be over.
He would be unbearable to live with if he wasn't able to finish the race, because he does not do things like this and not finish them. He will finish it at any cost.
James lies under the care of the medical team. His race is in the balance. Overnight, 33 athletes have been forced to quit the toughest race on earth. James Cracknell is not amongst them. After 8 hours rest, he's managed to eat and rehydrate enough to avoid a drip. It's an incredible feat of recovery, but James is barely able to walk. His target of best ever Brit now sounds impossible.
It's stupid thinking about positions at the moment. Look at the state of my foot. I've got to just get to the start line in a position to be able to run.
Getting these toes race ready is going to be a major task. They've just endured a double desert marathon, which ended with the most frightening night of James's sporting career.
What was a wake-up call is not understanding what's happening to your body. Yeah, that was frightening. And really not knowing why your arms are doing that and that you can't open your mouth and all those sorts of things. That's something I really don't want to happen again.
Before James can consider carrying on, the medics need to assess his feet.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Français?
Petit peu.
Petit peu.
There's a blister on every single one of James's toes.
Just stabbing my big toenail and releasing the fluid out of it. There's a blood blister underneath my toe, so now we're just stabbing all the tops of the toes to release the fluid. It's just awful. The cutting open isn't too bad. It's going to be the iodine going in that's going to be bad. Oh, stings.
So we let dry this one.
Yep.
And after the bandage.
James is sitting in 12th overall. If he drops one position over the final leg of the race, he'll fail in his bid to be the highest placed Brit ever. The science got him this far, but now he's running on Olympic-trained mental strength. There's another 60 kilometres over the final 2 stages to complete. 85 athletes have now quit the race. They'll miss the remaining 40-odd kilometres of bone-dry riverbeds, followed on stage 6 by some of Morocco's biggest sand dunes. After missing the top British slot in every stage so far, James's shadow is back. Elliot Challifer is determined to beat James at least once. James has no plans to give up his lead.
Hammer's going down now, though.
James is holding his race pace for the first time since stage 2. It means he's just maintaining his target of 12th place overall, with 20 kilometres to go.
Just my legs pretty knackered now. I've got hamstrings tightening up there, so that was pretty tough.
Elliot finally accepts he won't beat James Cracknell in this race.
You can tell he's determined because on the checkpoint 2 he pushed through quick and I saw him kick and I thought, right, okay, let's go with this. Let's push on after. Let's see if I can keep up with this. But no, he's too strong.
All I was thinking was, I'm never having to do this again. Never having to do this again.
With the final start line, the chance for James to make history for Britain.
I'm certainly no natural runner, but I was a full-time athlete in endurance sports for over a decade and trained for 6-7 hours a day. So there's an engine there. Yeah, it's not a very efficient engine at running, and it's not a very efficient chassis that's running it, but the engine's strong and the belief's strong, and I keep driving it forwards.
Whatever happens during the final push, the big man of the desert has made a huge impression on those who've shared his journey.
He has phenomenal drive that I've never seen in anyone before. He has an amazing ability to get the absolute best from himself, and I just don't know, I don't understand how he physically pushes himself that hard to breaking point.
Do you know, I can't even bear to picture what that last day is going to be like and what that last sprint to the finish line is going to be like, because he is going to push himself so hard.
Coming into this, James had never really, run this far. He'd never experienced temperatures like this before, really, and yet he's come here and he's performed absolutely exceptionally, and it's remarkable to see how someone can put their body through that. And I think what I can take away from it is that, yes, we've helped James, acclimate and get used to the conditions out here, but it is how the mind can almost rule over the body. And no matter how hard and how well we get the body prepared for it, the mind's got to be there as well.
Mohammed Ansel claims the Desert Crown for the 4th time, with energy to spare. For the first time in the race, British runners are finishing a stage in front of James. He's been spotted in trouble in the dunes.
Blimey. Thank goodness it's over.
Have you seen James?
Yeah, he hurt his hamstring somewhere just before checkpoint 2. I said, don't leave it on the course. Get there, finish up. He will. I hope he's in soon.
Come on, James!
James drags his hamstring across the line, completing the final stage in 30th. He doesn't know if that'll be good enough for 12th overall and a British record. He's certainly not celebrating yet.
My hamstring went about 5k. Oh. So I had to stop. I had to stop at the checkpoint to get it taped up. Oh, that's so annoying. I just couldn't go as hard as I wanted because my leg was killing me. I guess the race beat me ultimately. I didn't want to hobble over the finish line like that, no, but that's why it's the toughest race in the world. It'll get you eventually, and it got me with 15k to go.
These are the athletes who've conquered the desert. Elliot Challifer finishes in 77th place. Rory Coleman's final position is 242nd.
The guy's extraordinary. I'm sure he's been a hell and back, but you don't win gold medals at Olympics without being that good, do you? So, hats off to Mr. James.
It broke me 3 times, probably. It broke me in the long stage. It broke me in the day after the long stage, and I could hardly walk, and I had to get back on, and then it broke me in the final stage. It's just relentless.
James wanted 12th place, and he got it. Just. He's the highest placed British athlete in the history of the race. It's a performance that ranks amongst his finest.
I achieved my goal. I was 38 positions higher than I would have been satisfied with, and that's a really nice feeling to overachieve. There's not many times I do overachieve in life. Even the Olympics was an achievement, not an overachievement, because it was where I expected and demanded myself to finish, whereas here I do generally believe was an overachievement. I can't look back on this week and think
there was much more I could have done. I'm really pleased. In 12th, I'm so satisfied with it. I'm as satisfied with that as any other performance I've ever done in any sport.
2 Olympic golds, the Atlantic, the Antarctic. Now add the Sahara to the roll of honour for James Cracknell.
For a sneak peek at James Cracknell's race across America this Thursday at 9, and for a chance to win a custom-fitted Boardman bike, head over to our new website at discoveryuk.com.